Do you have tight or weak hips? Well, this video is for you. Here are our 3 unexpected mobility drills that you can use right away. Number 1 is the Clockwork Hips drill. What we want to do is get our foot up on something, so your stairs or chair or bed or sofa, and then we rock ourselves forwards and backwards. If you need to use your hands to make this easier, you can have them on what you're using, or you can have a hand on the knee as well. From there, we then use the bottom foot to change and get different angles of the hip and different types of stretches. You're going to be doing this on both sides. Make sure to look for any difference side to side as well. So that's how we work through our angles. We can also in the bottom positions start to work on really wiggling, trying to get that knee as far over the toe as we can, and also trying to open up from the hip. Think pry the hip open, using your glute muscles so we're being active in the bottom as well. And then we can get the hamstring lit up by pressing the heel into what we're using for support too. So rocking yourself around is really nice to work on, and then if you turn that bottom foot out, you can start to get on the adductors as well in that straight leg position. Really nice way to pull in and get things feeling active. Number 2 is the hip cars. This is basically taking your hips through a full range of motion. What we do is find something to support ourselves with, like a door frame, just anything you can hold on to. Then from there we lift up and we set our ankle on the opposite side knee. From there JP's going to try and lift his leg up as much as he can. Then he rotates, so we've got the hip in nice flexion. He goes out to the side as much as he can. Then he internally rotates the leg, presses back a little bit, and then he brings it across and he squeezes his legs in together. And then we do that in reverse. So we go up, we rotate it back out, we bring it across, and then we end up back in that start position again. So this is how your reps are going to look. You're going to do them nice and slow. If it feels a little bit pinchy or sore or uncomfortable to do that, reduce the range of motion. So you can still do the exercise, but just go a little bit less, and over time your muscles will get stronger and start to improve. Another thing you might notice is that, especially with the internal rotation, if JP tries to turn in, his torso might start to do the movement for him. We want it to come from the hip. We don't want the upper body moving and you thinking that you're moving your hip instead. So a nice thing to do is kind of step yourself closer to what you're using for support, and that will show you if you start to lean, you're going to bump into whatever it is right away. To get a little bit of extra strength into this one, what we can also do is pick different points of the movement and to actually press our hand in. This is really firing up the hip flexors here. You can start to press down in different positions at different angles to get the muscles working. There's no right or wrong here. Get things fired up as you move. It's a great way to improve the strength of your hips overall. Number 3 is the assisted squat. Grab onto a door frame or a banister, something sturdy, so that you're able to hold yourself upright in your squat as much as you can. Then from there, use the hands to walk yourself up and down to assist you. And then we can also go down and spend time in that bottom position. And just like the Clockwork Hips, wiggle ourselves around. We can also rock backwards and forwards, work on each ankle at a time, and even do that active drill as well, where we really try and pry open with the glutes to send those knees out. JP can also really slowly push through his quads to bring himself up just a little bit rather than resting in the bottom, and that really starts to get the muscles of the hips fired up and working really well. Keep your breathing chilled out as you do this, and again, 5 minutes constant movement, really good way to work on your squat mobility. In the weirdest way, actually adding strength and tension as you move helps your hips to relax overall by feeling more stable. It may feel counterintuitive, but using deep held stretches all of the time are going to make things feel unsupported, and that's going to cause them to tighten up more. Well-functioning hips hold less day-to-day tension, and this will allow you to safely increase your flexibility in the long term. These 3 exercises are easy to slot into your day whenever you've figured out somewhere to do them. All you need to do is set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes and to get wiggling. You can do 5 minutes of Clockwork Hips in the morning, 5 minutes of hip cars in the afternoon, and 5 minutes of assisted squats in the evening. Or you could bunch them all together into one 15-minute session at the same time. The main thing is to make it work for you so that you can be consistent. If you enjoyed this video and want to know more about mobility and how to assess your own body, make sure to head over to tommorrison.uk and check out the Simplistic Mobility Method.